She forgot to say the birthday boy,
Yeah,
but
that's
she's going to do that. For those of you, my oldest son, Tyler, also has a birthday as well. He's 28. I tell my wife she didn't want to go birthday shopping, so she had Tyler on her birthday. So it's great to tie the family together that way. We celebrate together, and that's what's important. That's what's important about the second district. We are connected. And just Gary getting up talking. Thank you, Gary, for all that you've done for the party. He is the grassroots king. He has been the one that's cared about rural Oklahoma as a state rep. Trust me, they only think there are two cities in Oklahoma, Tulsa and Oklahoma City. And, you know, we have fought that battle for a long time now, and we're going to continue to fight that. So we appreciate how important the grassroots are. I just have a question. I know I've talked to a lot of folks. How many folks live in the second district? Okay, great. How many of you live south of I-40? Great turnout driving up here. We appreciate your effort for coming up here. You know, the goal is to make sure that Little Dixie is singing a new tune, and I think we're going to do that by just the hard work. We've got so many folks. I was talking with Trevor how we've been trailblazers. Wenda back in 2004, 2000 and 2002 ran for state house down in McCurtain County. I was first Republican elected out in Muskogee. I remember when I won, Susan Winchester said that we didn't even know we had a chance over there. So we're making great strides, and it's because of being conservative. It's because of appealing. And we've got a very important election in front of us, and it's about choices. It's about choices of who's going to represent the entire second district. As we were driving up here, I mean, I'm thinking, I love this district. I've lived here all but a year of my life. I've got a carpet cleaning business that I've had for 25 years. I've served the last 6 years as state representative out in Muskogee. So I've got pretty deep roots when it comes to living in rural Oklahoma. And it's going to take someone who is connected, someone who's invested. We were talking about voting, and we're talking about my middle son who is 22. You know, it's important to be involved in the process. It's important to be connected, not over just the big elections, but the smaller elections as well. And there are choices made. I mean, there are clear choices of people who've been involved in politics, who've been involved in the process of government. My son, who's 22, actually has probably voted more than my opponent at age 22. And if you look at the last 10 years, I voted 40 times compared to Markwayne 6 times. It's called being connected to the district. It's called about being experienced. We've got to have people that can handle the problems. You know, out in my van, I've got the health care bill. You know, we thought that Obamacare was going to be struck down by the courts in part or in whole, and we've been a rude awakening. Now it's going to be the biggest tax, the biggest job-killing measure that we have got to fight for. I've got that bill in my van, and I was hoping that I could just use it for a wheel chalk for my trailer, because it's about this thick on one end. But unfortunately, we've got to find people that are experienced that can fight against that. I fought that battle in the House. I fought that battle already. You've got to send someone that is experienced that can go to the Capitol and say, okay, I know how to go to work from day one.
Right.
You know, we talk about how government is intruding in every aspect of our life. I've got experience of fighting back regulations because I've seen them come through my committee. I've authored legislation on the state side that has pushed back control from agencies that they can no longer do what they want to do without legislative authority. We need the same premise in the Washington, D.C.
Right.
We've got to take back control. We need the elected officials making the decisions over what's good for America instead of some bureaucrat who's sitting in an office thinking, oh, this sounds like a good rule. This sounds like a good executive order. And what's important is that we have got to replace the president. I mean, that's the bottom line. we talked about all these movements. I know I've said this a time or two, but I think we ought to have a moveout.org. Any volunteers to help with a moving truck? We'll pull it out to the White House and we can get it moved out. But even beyond that, we've got, when you stop and think about Obamacare, for the last several years, we have seen parts of it being implemented in our healthcare authority right now. And you've got to know how to attack that. You've got to know how the bill process works. And you've got to know how that you can start work from day one. It's all about choices. Do we want a bigger government? I don't. Do we want bigger control? I don't. I think the individual needs to have that choice of how they're going to chart their own destiny. I've been self-employed for 25 years. I know how it is to sign both sides of the paycheck. I know how it is to pay those taxes. I know how it is to fill out the reports. And I think that the American people are tired of big government. They want it returned back to we the people. And it's time that we send someone that's got the experience, someone that has invested their life in the private sector, someone who has gone and served for a period of time as a citizen legislator who came home and still did his job. 6 years is not a career politician, trust me. I was 44 years old when I first ran for office. That's not a career politician. That's a citizen legislator who's going to serve the people because he believes that they deserve the right kind of representation. Gary talked about conservatism, he talked about Democrats. I've proven that I can win in a 70% Democrat registered district. That's huge. You can't go and bash Democrats because they're Democrats and expect them to win. You've got to give them a reason to vote for you because they see your integrity, they've seen your track record, and they see that you are someone who will listen to both sides and you'll make an informed decision. The right decision is not always Republican or Democrat. Good government doesn't have a label after it. But this election is too important to send someone who's not proven, someone who does not have the proven record. I'm not a question mark. I've got a proven record in business. I've got a proven record in the legislative session. I've got a proven record as a conservative. Just look at all the folks that have endorsed. Wayne Pettigrew just endorsed just recently our campaign because experience matters when we look at what our country is facing right now. Experience does matter. You've got to know the issues. You've got to go to work from day one. And just a whole host of other conservative groups, Mike Huckabee has endorsed because he's seen my conservative record. He has seen what I will stand up for. He sees that I will protect life, I will fight for lower taxes, and I will help return control back to the people and away from the government. That's the choice. You can empower government, or you can empower the people. You can send someone who's experienced that can go to work from day one, or you can take a chance and hope that the learning curve will be there. So I appreciate your support. Come by our table. It's going to be a great race. We expect to have these, hopefully, debates across the district where you guys can ask the questions and you guys can get the answers instead of maybe forums like this. Thank you so much.